It's your boy, McLadon J, man, at another episode. Hey, I know it's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. I figured I'd hit my friend up, Miss Jackie, and so we can release some tension, talk about some stuff other than the world's issues. I know we got governmental issues. I know we got things with the police. But guess what we got? Locks today, folks. We got locks today. Beautiful locks today, Miss Jackie. What we got, Miss Jackie? Where you from?
I'm from Houston. Well, I'm sorry, I'm from Hitchcock, Texas.
Hitchcock, Texas. Oh, sweet H-Town. Here we go.
But it's near Houston, so I just tell people Houston because that's the place that they know.
That's all right. So check me out. So I was looking through YouTube. I was scrolling through my Instagram, and I said, man, I need some colorful personalities out here. And I said, you know what? I'm going to check out Miss Jack My Vibes with the Z. And we're going to talk about locks tonight. So one thing that I really wanted to look into tonight, because a lot of people ask me why I grew my locks. What is the reason why you feel like you grew your locks?
Well, honestly, I had been wanting to, once I started like the journey of going natural, before when I was expecting my son. So that was in 2004. That's 2004. So yeah, 2004, and I went full natural because I didn't care anymore. I was pregnant, you know. You just don't really give a damn. So
hand me the pills.
Yeah, I was just I don't want no perms. But then once I realized that I could still straighten my hair while not actually relaxing it made it easier for me to continue the process. So once I got tired of that, and then I went from me wanting to actually see my curls, like the full pattern of my curls, because when your hair gets used to that flat iron, it gets trained to be straight. So I had to let it all grow out again, and I got to that process. But then after a while, I was like, I wanted locks, and I told people before that I wanted locks, but the people that I kind of was intertwined with were a little superficial, I would say. So they always liked me when my hair was straight. Everybody, like when I would wear my hair straight, I would have so many people come talk to me. But once I went natural, or once I would have a curly day or just a wash and go, then I might not get the attention that I normally would. But after a while, I pondered on it. I did the braiding hairstyles, and then I went from the braiding hairstyles, and I ended up going to Jamaica. So when I went to Jamaica, I saw like it was there, like, Jackie, like, this is beautiful. Like, it was so amazing, like how happy they were, and even with just the littlest of things, how happy they were, and that their locks were a sort of a strengthening for them. So when I left from there, I went to go get my hair done, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get it straight. And so I got it straight, and I looked in the mirror, and for the first time, I hated it. So I hated it. I didn't want it anymore. And I was tired of using my hair as a form of beauty. Like that I felt like I used my straight hair as me telling myself that made me prettier, and I didn't want to be dependent on it like that any longer. So I cut off all my hair, and then I said I want to cut it all off. And once I cut it off, then she did the finger coils, and it's been 3 years since, and it's been a journey for sure. But I'm loving, like, the longer it gets, the more like my confidence like builds up. Like it's really crazy.
Like the lock journey, man, is it's amazing, because it's like you go from this particular image that everybody sees you as, right?
Right.
And so, like, for myself, as just like you stated, like, I had a clean cut, I had the waves, and I was brushing the thing,
Right.
and so I was like, oh man, I'm so fresh. And I had a boss one time, and he told me, he said, I really like you better with the presidential look.
What?
Presidential look. Like, hold on.
What?
What do you mean? Like, this is me, you know?
Right,
So,
right.
you know, it's great to hear that you actually separated yourself from that particular image
Yeah,
and you just
yeah.
embraced your whole essence, you know, of who you are, what you want to be, and what you want to represent, you know, with your
Right.
hair. Because to me, starting out at comb calls, it looks like your hair is very, very like great, fine, cylindrical.
It might. Well, I have a really fine curl pattern. So
Mm-hmm.
if you like, you can still look and you can still see them, you know, coming up, you know, as my hair is growing out, because
Yeah.
my hair gets really frizzy because you know the curls are trying to come out, and you know you can see like how my patterns aren't necessarily symmetric because of the
Mhm.
you know how my curl pattern is though. But I love them. I love them.
That's all right, man. Because you know, at some point, you know, you have to just embrace the locks for what they are because they're stages, and that's another thing I want to ask you about. Like, through the process, like, how did you feel starting the process? Because I know, you know, for myself, I know I had that mirror every other day. I was like, oh man, I think it grew like an inch overnight, and it's not like that. You know, you
No,
just
like
like,
you,
oh,
look, you already looking for the bud. Look for bud. Wait,
is that bunching? Is that bunching or is that a bud?
are you trying to
Man,
put a little
hold on.
cone through it? Oh, that is it gonna go through or not?
Uh, I think, oh man, I just messed it up, man. Hold on. So,
Right,
and so
right. Yeah,
there's a
no, but
guy, another guy on YouTube, man, that I watch a lot. And then shout out to TP Locks, man. Like, if you ever get a chance, hit TP Locks up. He has a lot of great content on YouTube. Also, TP Locks will respond to you and he'll be like, hey, nah, bro, like they look nice, but this is what I did. So, you know, like I have
right,
to ask you about the process
right.
because I went through some struggles.
I mean, well, first of all, like when I like I told you, like when I was talking to people initially when I was gonna get it, they were like, "Are you sure you want?" Like my mom was like, "No, you should like." And then my mom's a pastor's wife. They have a church, so you already know. You know, you already know. So,
Of
you know,
course.
they might not be fond of things that may look criminal like or whatever stereotype that is put on dreadlocks or locks, whatever you want to call them. But um I had some people tell me that you're not gonna last, like you're gonna give in. I had people tell me your hair isn't like I would have people who tried it and it didn't work for them because of how fine their hair was, telling me that it wasn't gonna work for me either. But I did honestly when I went through the process, I didn't care. Like I was in this whole zone as to like I don't care about my hair, but I did make sure that I was more feminine like in other areas because my hair was short. So I wasn't used to it just being, smack dab on my on
Yeah.
my head.
Yeah.
And I would have guys like because when I like before, like I would have guys talk to me all the time when my hair was straight and stuff. So when I did that, the only thing that I would get would be like, "Oh, I love your hair," and then they'll just walk out. I'm like, "Dang, like you want to get my number?" Like, I
You just like,
was
oh, hold on. You like,
like,
oh,
okay,
bye bye, negative Nancy.
right.
Appreciate you for stopping by, but no.
But yeah, but it was a transition, and it really forced me to love myself outside of my hair. Like it really like I had to really tap deep into it, and even still like I was getting the individual lashes because it made me look more like a girl and stuff. Getting different stuff done, keep my eyebrows done, keep my hair nice and clean cut. But it was it I just I didn't like as you see now, like it's not really like clean cut, like, and I don't like it when my when my hair shows. Like I really like it like this, but just now, and with how society is and stuff, they don't necessarily deem that to be clean or um what else is it
non-presidential.
called? Like, oh, you're a weed smoker, all that different stuff. Like, so, they expect it to be like all done up and stuff. And I don't like that. First of all, I don't like that tension on my hair because, your locks can get really thin. And I'm not trying to have no locks popping nowhere. I'm trying to
Right.
take care of them. So, I try to stay away from that. But again, like even with like dating and stuff, like, some of the guys that I've dated, they may not have necessarily liked the frizzy look of it, or even some of them just didn't like the fact that I had locks in general and would have preferred if I in accent, well, do you wear wigs or do you get sew-ins? And I'm like, nah, I'm good, sir.
The
I'm like, if you
shallowness
can't
that
look
comes with it.
past that, then that's the issue that you have for yourself. That's not mine. So I have to move
So
on.
what do you think, like, if you had to say one thing that you felt like they brought the negative stigma with your locks, aside from those things, like what do you think that really draws people to that conclusion that, maybe you're a weed smoker or you're a criminal? um what do
I
you
guess go ahead. Go ahead, finish.
like what do you think, makes people feel that way about locks? Because last time I checked, it's hair, just like if you were growing a
Right.
natural fro. So I don't understand, like, what do you think brings people to
Well,
that
I mean,
conclusion?
I guess it's just maybe what is portrayed on TV, how it's portrayed, like what it may look like, and um, the whole everybody wants to they tie Bob Marley to people because so if he has locks and he was a known weed smoker, so and I mean I don't care about the stereotypes. It doesn't bother me at all. I mean, it doesn't bother me at all. Like, I'm really content in myself and secure in myself to not let those things make me feel down or anything like that. So it ain't no big deal. But I just think that's just what it's always been tied to. Even the term dread, in front of dreadlocks, like it just, all of that, you kind of think about that as to how that even came about. But it's beautiful. And like, and the fact that your hair can, like, look what your hair just did.
On its own, really.
It's just
On its
growing.
Man,